learned of the Fossum authorities had posted a bounty for exterminating neckers, he accepted the job immediately. Before he began, he decided to learn more about the vicious creatures. He began looking for books about neckers and searching for the creatures to observe their behaviour. I need to go get a book, I guess. Actually, yeah, I have to visit the barber, don't I? I'll do that before I do anything else. And Dagras were multiplying in the Fossum area. The monsters had become such a scourge that Bernard Lordo, a widow stingy by nature, posted a bounty for their extermination. The Witcher accepted the job and decided that a little theoretical preparation might pay off. Read about the Dagras' habits might prove to be worth it. Dagras are very similar to butterflies, except they are ugly, cannot fly, and would choke on cabbage. Alright, maybe they're more like that. Okay, maybe they are more like butterflies, but they do weave cocoons. That's misworded. They meant to slot something else in. The Witcher learned that destroying these cocoons would draw out the queens, and their death would then mean the end for the swarm. In practicing their trade, Witchers abide by code that code explains what they can and cannot do. Grohl claims he invented this code himself to have an excuse for refusing unwanted jobs, but thinks such a stratagem would be too complicated for him. Either way, Grohl noticed that Bernard Lordo had posted a bounty on the head of a troll living in the area. Because a troll is a sapient creature, falls under code as huntable only if evil. The curious Witcher decided to check it out. Melna. Grohl was wandering around Ulbidden when he noticed several guards harassing an elven woman. Malna. Melna. The guards seemed to be hurling grave accusations at her. After sensitive displays of intolerance, the Witcher decided to investigate. The elf stood accused of spying for Scoia'tael, leading guards into an ambush. It was a grave accusation, and if she turned out to be guilty, she would be executed. Grohl decided to look into the case. He headed for the cave where the missing guards had gone. He wanted to find out more about their fate. The Assassin of Kings. Just outside of Flotsam, Grohl saw Foltest's murderer once more. The assassin was in company of Everett, and the commander of a Scoia'tael unit. This was surely no coincidence, and, as it would turn out later, the event was deliberately staged indeed. From that moment on, the witch began to wonder if he could use the elven leader to get the assassin. Kieran, a matter of price. Sorceresses never do anything out of the kindness of their hearts, for the simple reason that they have stones instead of hearts. Sheila said that she had enough of talking, one lift a finger against the monster until the price of the contract was set. The artless Witcher would never have thought to do things that way, but since a sorcerer's lifting her finger can be mightily helpful in any situation, especially in ones involving killing huge monsters, her went to haggle with merchants at the harbour. Passing along the waterfront, the Witcher approached a merchant who was willing to pay for the beast to be slain. Grohl never liked haggling, but he did it often in account of his profession, so he managed to agree a good price. A rough landing. Vern and Roche's ship finally reached the vicinity of Flotsam, a trading post governed by Commander Lordo. Roche wanted to meet his informant, yet unsure of the commander's loyalties, chose not to dock in the harbour, but rather to land on a beach and conduct a bit of reconnaissance before bringing the ship in. He took to scouting in company of Grolt and Triss. It is prudent to inform the reader that, on account of his profession and personality traits, Vernon Roche had many enemies and possibly no friends at all. By many enemies, I mean a legion, and not a weak one at that. In Flotsam alone, Roche counted Commander Lordo and the local elven unit's leader, Everett, among his foes. The latter crossed our hero's path, and when a hunter of squirrels meets a girl's best-known leader, the pleasantries only last so long. The elven partisans immediately attacked from hiding, and Grohl's company only avoided becoming arrow-ridden hedgehogs thanks to Triss Marigold's presence of mind. Vern Roche took the sorceress, exhausted by a protection spell, into his arms. Grohl covered his company with his sword, leaving a trail of corpses behind. Our heroes pushed towards Flotsam. At the town gates, our heroes were greeted by Temerian soldiers. Only then did the Scoia'tael withdraw, and the Witcher managed to get but a glimpse of the faces of Everett and the Kingslayer who accompanied him. Unable to confront their foe, the company proceeded to town in search of Roche's informant. Indecent betrothal. When the dust at the gallows had settled, Lordo invited Grohl for a talk. Even if we ignore the fact that witchers, like troubadours and scholars, never refuse free board, it was a good occasion to feel out the commander. Grohl accepted the invitation. Cultural events are rare in the province, thus it is unsurprising that when a rarity like the hanging of collaborators take place, the whole town turns out. Um, when in Nilfgaard, and when in Nilfgaard, do as the Nilfgaardians do. Geralt and company proceeded without hesitation to the scaffold square to partake in the local entertainment. And at this point I enter the scene. I, Dandelion, the unequaled, as described by some ladies, poet, lover, secret agent, friend and confidant to Geralt of Rivia. At that moment, a legal corpse with a noose around my neck. On the scaffold was flanked by the dwarf Sultan, also a friend of the Witcher, and elves whom I never met before. As I say, a Rivian once volunteered for the scaffold, so a condemned creature would not as so as they say, a Rivian once volunteered for the scaffold, so a condemned criminal would not hang alone. But I had no desire to die. Geralt had to find a way to free me, especially since I was Rosh's aforementioned informer. The Witcher was a frank, straightforward man. Without much thought, he chose a direct solution. He trashed the guards and tackled the executioner. Saved by Geralt, I breathed a sigh of relief, while Zoltan wiped the sweat from his brow. The world would keep the greatest of its living poets. There was no end to the greetings, and that's when I learned about the events that brought Geralt and his company to Flotsam. As well-informed man, I could aid them in their search, thereby repaying my debt of gratitude. And there's that. Geralt managed to meet Bargy for the final contest near his workshop by the river. The young boat builder had little time, but he agreed to wait there for the Witcher to warm up. I bet a tiny sum on Bargy and lost it all. The Witcher smashed the boat builder's hand down on the table with a loud thump. Then did a quick chat. The Witcher learned that Bart had once been bested by Adam Pengrat himself, who left the table as champion Flotsam, the glow of victory surrounding him. A sword for monsters. A Witcher stripped of his fighting sword is like a dwarf without a beard. Geralt's Silverblade had flown off with the dragon just after the memorable encounter on the walls of Viet Castle, so Witcher needed a new one. The best, though certainly not the only way to acquire one, was to have it forged by the dwarf blacksmith who had his workshop in Flotsam's non-human district. With his silver sword in hand at last, Geralt's job became incomparably easier. One equipped like a Witcher should be, or he took to solving his own and others' problems with renewed energy. And there's plenty of others to read, but I'm reading enough. I'm going the wrong way. I need to double around and go talk to the barber and partake of his books. So we only kill the troll if it's hostile, and from what the villager is saying, it ain't hostile. Maybe it's actually helping people. I'll be adding protection. If it's adding protection, keep it around, pay it. We'll give it 2 swords and call it a Witcher. Oh, blacksmith's across the way. So if we go down here, here should be the barber. Yes.
Greetings! What brings you here, White Wolf? Make yourself at home, please.
Do we know each other?
I've heard, or rather read much about you, in the letters of the Rivian diaspora.
Well, nice to meet you.
Einar Gausel, fundamentally a trader in old curios, although I also concern myself with the non-human community.
I hate the voice. Like, seriously.
Books in Flotsam? I wouldn't have thought it a profitable enterprise.
Hey, many foreigners come through here. Sometimes they buy books, sometimes they have tomes to sell. Yesterday, for example, Lady Sheila de Tanseville purchased items for a sum equal to my yearly dealings.
Did she buy anything interesting?
De Vermis Mysteries, the Exeter Treatise, complete and unabridged, plus a very expensive volume I'd rather not mention. I should add, as generosity must be praised, that she made a donation to the community, specifically to the Fund for Widows and Orphans.
That's nice. And I choose to assume the other books are Poor Mag or Erotica or something.
The non-humans in Flotsam are organized?
We aren't, but we aid each other as best we can. I mainly collect taxes and announce the Commandant's dispositions.
That'd make you a prime target for Yorvith.
You're correct on that account. He's warned me many times, and I've explained the need for my function to him just as many. Both in vain. It seems we've agreed to disagree. Well, the sword is his calling, the pen is mine. Hence, no meeting of the minds. It wasn't always this hard. Turned sour when several elven lassies disappeared. We lost our trust in the humans, and the Scoia'tael ceased trusting us.
Did they turn up? The women?
No, I believe Neckers killed them. I remember Moral of the White Hands. She and her lover made a beautiful pair.
That's sad. Since there isn't a quest for the other guys, I'll gamble with everyone. I have little interest in it right now, but there is a quest for arm wrestling, so I'm interested in that. Alright, a book that describes witchers. Oh, I'll need that in case I go up against one of those beasties. Magic and power. Study mages and their nature. Are books just a lot cheaper here? Like in this game? Because I swear money's a little, better. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. Order the Flaming Rose. Sure, we'll take that. Markham history. Feudal society and its enemies. Scoia'tael. Nature magic. The Grand Tripe. Sorry, the Grand Triple. Yeah, triple. Could be trifle. Tripe. Something. Voltest daughter. Huh, interesting. Yeah, so we'll only buy the one buck of one. Ah, insufficient funds. That's a very expensive one. Viziman Uprising. Jacques de Aldersberg? These are some very interesting books. Okay, let's read for a bit. Indigas are forest creatures that resemble arachnids. They're especially fond of floodplains as moisture and tall grass suit them. Longer than they are tall, they move about on all fours and are extremely difficult to spot as they lie motionless, waiting their prey. Like Kikimoras, Indigas are divided into castes, with warriors being the most numerous, guards being less common, and queens a real rarity. These monsters, being like arachnids, hatch from eggs. Impregnated queens lay the eggs in cocoons, which hang from trees. But we already figured out the second half. Neckers in mist. Imagine a drowner that burrows tunnels, climbs trees, and is more vicious than usual, and when ambushing its prey, it does so with manage of its skin. Now you have a good idea of what a necker is. These primitive creatures are the bane of the wilderness. The inhabitants of the forest villages fear them, and the animals give their nests to wild birds. Neckers are social creatures, gathering in something akin to tribes, for they can only repel the attacks of stronger cells en masse. Witchers can use their full range of skills and techniques when fighting neckers. Signs, bombs, poisons, oils that augment bleeding are all extremely effective against the beasts. Necker nests are best destroyed with grape-shot bombs. Once as numerous as the beasts they fought, today witchers are seen as a relic of times long gone. The exact character of their training remains a mystery. It is known that it consists, among others, of the trials, processes that transform the organism using a specific combination of secret herbs and infusions. Those who survive them gain superhuman reflexes, speed of reaction, and the ability to see in the dark, and many other traits that make them lethal foes. During their training, they learn swordplay and the basics of magic, known as signs. Armed in this set of abilities, the witchers can effectively fulfill their objective, that is to protect humans from the monsters inhabiting our world. Which sounds strange coming from a book called Monstrum, or Betrayal of Witchers. Dwarves are one of the elder races, stocky and bearded, with strongly built bodies and low voices. To be honest, but I've joked before, called my Westie a dwarf, so all can think of as dwarves as Westies. Oh. We have a Westie called Lily. She's precious. She's such an adorable little dog. She's precious. They are distinguished for their height, which is lower than human. Of simple and direct manners, they're often seen as grumpy, unkind, and greedy. I have to stress that my own opinion of dwarves is by no means similar to the latter part. I only cited here to prevent the view of other people, even if they are dull-minded, hateful, hate-blinded buffoons. Maracam is a dwarves' mountainous homeland, famed for its numerous mines where precious stones and ores are mined. Mining dwarves also live in human cities, where the race usually adapts to new neighbours easily, something that cannot be, unfortunately, said about a large part of humanity. Despite vexations, persecution, and even bloody pogroms, their coexistence with dwarves goes a lot better than with elves. Their flair for trade and craft make them excellent merchants, bankers, smiths, and armourers. For a moment I saw bakers in there. Sometimes drowned men return as monsters to haunt the living. Tormented by their own deaths, they seek to murder others. They prefer to draw their prey underwater. As their victims drown, they tear them into shreds and consume them like soggy biscuits. Such creatures are called drowners. They are numerous in the banks of the Pontar, as this large river, with regular shipping and riverside villages, provides them with ample sustenance. Okay. Perfect. Well, there's no point in just destroying the entrances to the necro tunnels, unless you just collapse the tunnels in their totality. They could easily dig new ones.
So how's it going, dear? Everything all right at the house?
Okay. Yeah, we'll continue with the main quest for a bit. We can climb now. Do the dogs have the same design as the first game? Looks better than dogs in Viking Conquest. Yeah, in Viking Conquest. Those dogs look mutant. Like some Eldritch horror pretending to be a dog. Let me just check the time. It's gone 4:15. Been recording for quite a while now. I'll be recording for a bit longer, then I'm calling it quits. Let me save. In some ways now I've actually passed where I used to be, and in other ways I'm not. What I mean to say is I got the Chiron's mucus, but in my original playthrough, I haven't read any of those books or got any of these extra quests, that kind of thing. I was very just direct and doggedly following the main quest. Though I don't know what's with that save symbol constantly appearing off to the right. Loading shit in, I guess.
Elves to the moon!
What? I think that's a parody of Humans to the Ocean. 7. Fire. Ow. Hold on, let me finish this guy. Now we can hit it. Christ. I'm glad I saved. Let me reload. Not sure how he killed me. I had issues the first time, I figured I wouldn't have issues again. Okay. Do I have any bombs? No, I don't. Used them on the other beastie. I was immune to them. I'm using the robust cockless. Good. Let's see. Let's get you. Well, mind control won the mooks, and you know, divide and conquer. I'm annoyed that I died to it. I'm also annoyed that the other thing keeps popping up in the right hand corner. It's distracting. I guess it's just loading shit in, but...
Elves to the moon!
Okay, not what I wanted, but that will serve nonetheless. Okay, I'm gonna kill him, worry about the other guy in a moment. Fantastic. Christ, Gross eyes looked red from one angle. Wooden rung rope ladder.